Greetings from Nova Scotia, Tracy here. Now I gotta start this video with an apology. I said I was gonna show you every single day. I think I made it to day 14 of what I was preserving every second day. Well, over the last 3 weeks, I haven't updated you at all. But believe me, I've been doing lots behind the scenes and I'm almost done my canning for the season. So those were just what my shelves are looking like. The beginning of June, there was actually less on those when I started about mid-August putting stuff on the shelves again. So at the end of what my shelves look like now. So these were onions, carrots, and celery I got from Gateway. I did them up as a soup base. I also added some of my homegrown garlic. You can do like a choose your own soup. So I do it as a soup base and then I use it to make cream of vegetable soup. I also dehydrated some onions. The rest of the onions are going down in my cold room, and then all my harvested onions myself, those last 2 boxes there, are also going down in the cold room. Now I do keep them separate from my potatoes because then your potatoes will sprout and you don't want that. So tomatoes have been coming in fast and furious. What I do is every 3 days or so is I go out and pick any tomatoes that have even a hint of pink. I then bring them into the house and I put them on these trays to ripen, and about every 3 days, right before I pick, I go through, and any that are ripe, I core and freeze. So that's my first batch. I did 7 liters of crushed tomatoes. I've already done my salsa. I have lots of pasta sauce still on the shelf from last year. So for the rest of my tomatoes for this year are all going to be crushed tomatoes. They go super quick compared to making a sauce. Next up, I harvested all of our grapes and decided I was going to this year invest in a steam juicer. I am in love with this thing. I think I'll do another video on actually using it. But like I said, I just took a lot of little clips and I was planning on doing like daily shorts, but the timing just didn't work out. This is quite time consuming to do all these projects. So sometimes the actual finishing of the project, as in posting a video, doesn't happen. So you just put your fruit in the top, there's water in the bottom, and then you siphon it out with this little hose that's included. And I just stack them up on a little box here to drain out as it goes so it doesn't get backed up. This is cilantro that I let go to seed. I'm going to use this as the spice cilantro, and I'll probably save a few to plant for next year as well. So now it's called coriander in North America. So I just very roughly just take these off and put them in like a little... I'm doing another batch of tomatoes. This must be a couple days later. I had another bunch of ripe ones. And instead of freezing them, I had enough that I was just going to can them right from fresh. So instead of doing the dip, what do you call that? Scalding? Blanching the tomatoes. I just put them in the oven. I just find this is a lot quicker process, and I just go through and pick off the skins with my hand and put them into the pot. Another day, more tomatoes, and then I also harvested the rest of my beets, and it looks like I have a few cucumbers there as well to make up some pickles. This was probably just a recap day. So, okay, there's my onion flakes. There's my cilantro as well. Then I had mushrooms that I had bought from Flash Food, so I dehydrated those and powdered those. I had some homegrown parsley that I dehydrated. These are some sugar snap peas that I harvested and just dried out to be planted for next year. So those amount of grapes made, what is that, 8 liters of grape juice, and then I did another 10 liters of crushed tomatoes. So that went a long way for filling up some pantry shelves, and this represents tons of meals and also some fun stuff with the grape juice as well. So I decided to pick my peppers on this day. Now those are my home picked peppers, and then I also had these peppers that I had got from Gateway. I'm gonna can them all up. What I decided to do was do sweet pickled peppers. I have some marinated peppers already downstairs, so I decided to do pickled peppers. You do it with like a sugar brine and then can them that way. Here is everything all jarred up. I think I made 15 jars of those. Oh, here is our supper one night. Oh, wait, moving on. Here are tomatoes that I had in the freezer. So this is yet another batch of tomatoes. So we're up to 17 liters. So then on this day, what I did was I just cored them and froze them until I had enough to do a whole batch. I find I can put off tomatoes because it doesn't matter if they're frozen, if you're just doing them for crushed or sauce. So I just let them defrost in these fish tubs. These are fish tubs that I bought through a little fundraiser through a restaurant. She was sending her kid to cheer school. And so, yeah, I got them 3 for $1. They're just used fish tubs. So I store everything just in my bread bags or whatever bags I have left over. I let them defrost in these. I find it takes about an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the dog for a walk. And then when I come home, the skins should slip right off without any work from me. So that same day, I also picked more tomatoes. So just showing you that even though they just only have a hint of red, I'm picking them anyway. We do have a short season here, but I find they ripen within 2 or 3 days just in this system. This was the same day as I did those frozen tomatoes. I also decided to can up pinto beans. These are ones I got from Atlantic Superstore. For a good price. So I like to have some canned on the shelf because you can make amazing refried beans because they do come out a little bit soft, but I really like that for refried beans. So what you do is I do the quick soak method. So you boil for 2 minutes, let them set for an hour, and then change the water, boil for 30 minutes, and then you jar them up. Like I said, it's a lot of cooking, but this is just how you have to do them to make them shelf stable and safe. And of course, these are going to be pressure canned because they are a low acid food. So when I got home from my walk, I saw that it said that we're going to have a frost advisory. Now this actually didn't turn into frost. We didn't get it that day. And we haven't had it yet. So I decided anyway, I was just going to pick everything. I went outside and I was like, I'm going to pick all my tomatoes. I'm going to pick all my squash and my sorghum, anything that is frost sensitive. So I'm just taking a little wander through the garden after walking the dog. And this is the kind of stuff I'm going to pick. This is our squash tunnel. You can see most of these vines are pretty well dead anyway. He always wants to have his picture taken when he sees me having the camera out. There are a few cucumbers in here that have just gone past their prime, so I'm just going to throw those in for the chickens. And here's my tomato row. You can see there's still quite a few green tomatoes on here, but I'm going to go through. I did end up picking everything except for the cherry tomatoes. I let a lot of my bean plants go just to seed. You can see how brown they are on the vines here. I did end up picking all of these, but I'll show that on another video on seed collecting. You can see I have a few pumpkins over there as well, and this is my sorghum. It's 12 feet high. So this was all my squash that I managed to pick that day. We got 3 jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. We got 7 sugar pie pumpkins, 1 butternut squash, 3 mashed potato squash, and then the rest are spaghetti squash. I think there's like 8 of them there. It was 80 pounds altogether. So squash is such a low-key thing. I don't have to process it in any way. I'm just sitting these here for a few days to cure. A couple of them are a little yellower than I'd like, and then they'll be stored downstairs in the cold room. These are all the tomatoes I picked that day. So the bottom 3 racks are green tomatoes. I have since now processed the top 3 racks as well. But once again, that'll be another video. I'm not quite there yet. So 7 pints of pinto beans are ready for the shelf. And then that same day, I was also able to get 9 more liters of crushed tomatoes to put on the shelf. So it's the next day. So those are now ready to be put on the shelf. And then I decided to start my chickpeas to put down on the shelf. I got 5 liters of those. I use those a lot for hummus. Here's our sorghum drying in the living room along with our little tomato tower there. And those are seeds on top. But like I said, another video. And finally, this is how our shelves are looking now. You can see I filled in a lot of gaps. I have actually added some lentils down there as well. And I think more tomatoes. But anyway, this is how everything's looking. Here is the other shelf, a few more gaps to fill in. I'd like to do some juices for this shelf. All right, if you want to see a full pantry tour, I will have one on YouTube. You can see my past pantry tours. And like and follow if you'd like to see more food preservation and grocery hauls.